2, 1. All right, we're back again, people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Abdul-Rahmaan I. We're back with another episode of the Manhood Tree podcast. Oh man, it's been a tough day. I think it's been a tough day. You know what? Instead of me talking about how tough of a day it's been, just because it's been snowing a little bit, my car was doing a little weaving and wiving. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to my main man, Zoe, to let him introduce himself.
What up, everybody? Turn my mic on. I can't even hear myself. I don't know what happened. But I'm Zoe, Any Video, the second member of the podcast. Like I said, yeah, like you said, it's kind of snowy. I don't like this weather. I know I've been here my whole life, but I still can't get used to it. Because you gotta depend on other people.
That's right.
And other people, some people don't know how to drive, man.
I can barely.
Since you pointed it out, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to. I just want your audio to be good. I don't want the people online to be like, "Yo, we can't hear Zoe." Well, let's figure it. I don't know. I got to experience technical difficulties. You know what? While Zoe figures out his microphone situation, let's go over to our guest tonight. We got Corrie Betts. Corrie, give him a little introduction.
Yes, what's up? Corrie Betts, president of the Greater Hartford branch of the NAACP.
Yes, sir.
I am also chair of criminal justice for the state conference of the NAACP.
Love it.
And also chair of political action for the state conference of the NAACP. I'm happy to be here to share and be a part of this manhood thing that I think is very important, especially black men who don't talk. It's time for us to have these courageous conversations. Let's go.
That's right. Hey, so you're actually a move maker. Like, I mean, I didn't realize. I knew you were the president, but you also have those are national positions as well.
No, state conference. So
okay. Yeah.
When it comes to anything around criminal justice for the whole state of Connecticut, I'm the chair of that, and political action chair. So anything that has to do with legislation, policy making up at the Capitol,
right?
I'm that guy that's lobbying for the people.
Why is that so important? Like, why is it so important to have someone like yourself in a position to be able to lobby and to kind of advocate for us on those measures?
So, I don't know if everybody know, I haven't always been on this side. So
okay. Yep.
Being that I've had some challenges, some of my own and some from the environment in which I was brought up in.
Right. No.
I know both sides. So, who's better to be the voice for the people than one who is close and near to those issues.
So I find it's very important for, like, I always say, people, life is long.
Absolutely.
Life is long, and so it's like where you end up, what side you end up on. Like you said, you can determine that over time. You don't always have to stay in one place. You can move around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a conversation. I was down in D.C. at the White House last week.
Nice.
I met a couple of individuals who are into storytelling, some executive movie producers.
Okay.
And they were saying the importance of telling your story.
Right.
Right? And it was one piece that I told them as far as, like, how some of us say we don't have any regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, once we say we don't have any regrets, we kind of keep ourselves stuck right there. But when you can say I have regrets, whether it's a good opportunity or a bad one that may have come your way,
right.
And that regret, it gives you room to grow. So
I love it. Hey, I hope they make a movie about your life, man. Why not? Hey, as a part of the Manhood Tree, one of the things that we have is our fatherhood monologues. And so we have, one of the things we try to do is work with men on telling stories, specifically around fatherhood.
Absolutely.
We want them to tell stories about being a father or being fathered. And this past weekend, we just started practicing. We have a play that we did. And so we just started practicing again. And so we're planning for our next performance that we're going to be doing in the next few months. So,
it's very important. I tell folks, I don't know if you guys know, I have my master's in organizational leadership.
Nice.
And when I went to talk to the director to get into the program, she said the most important tool you have is your story.
I know, yeah.
It's cool to have folks advocate for you. When you can advocate for yourself and tell your story, it's so much power behind that.
That's what's so important. So, as we told you before we got started tonight, we like to start off our program with a little meditation.
Absolutely.
We want to kind of like center ourselves before we get into some of the things we want to talk about tonight. And so, since we have a guest like you on, me and Zoe figured meditation for about a minute, you know. There's no, I mean, we don't have a clock, but you lead it, you tell us what to do, we'll do it. It's the main man. Yeah.
That's major. And when we talk about meditating, right, it's really reflecting, right, and looking at where we've been and where we've come from. So I think it's very important, especially celebrating Martin Luther King and going into Black History Month. I think we need to start showcasing the work that has been done, because there's so much noise that go on within our nation that we don't see that. So I think, like, even being here, being able to even have these conversations, that's how long we have come, right? Right. Because it was sometimes we couldn't even talk about this type of stuff, and talk about manhood, and talk about Black manhood, the importance of. So I think we should meditate on that and what 2024 look like, as far as, you know, making sure that we're pushing these initiatives and we're giving people the power to speak truth to their power and do the right thing.
I love it. So you gonna take us down, or you gonna take us down? Because I feel like you took us up.
Wow. So this is amazing. So when y'all say meditate, what are y'all?
Are we close our eyes? Yeah, we close our eyes. Close our eyes. Close our eyes. We have to do a whole minute.
All right, that's good. So we're gonna focus on really pushing the agenda for Black excellence.
So we want us to close our eyes before we
close our eyes.
Okay, all right.
We're closing our eyes now.
I'm about to do this. I gotta do it. Yeah, what's the thing?
It's the ground.
Be grounded. We just learned this last week.
All right.
Put your hands like this.
You get the ground, get your feet on the ground.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get grounded in focusing on Black excellence and what does that look like for 2024. How could we hold one another accountable and being able to having courageous conversations. Think on that. Just think on that. Just think on what does it look like for us to pick up the phone and say, brother, this is where I am, and these are the issues in which I'm dealing with. I think that'd be good.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Y'all giving me something. That's a tool. I can take with me, man. That's important.
We believe that meditation is powerful.
Absolutely.
Like, didn't you feel in peace with that?
Absolutely.
And
I didn't want to come out of it. I was somewhere else.
Yeah, if you want to get over my eyes, I checked.
You open?
So I figured that's how I was going to end it. I figured everybody wanted to.
When you start talking about Black excellence, I really wanted to hone in on it. I wanted to think about it.
Think about that and what it looks like.
Yeah,
right? And so many times we don't showcase that, and I think it's time for us to do that.
Right.
You know, because sometimes we feel like we're in our own island sometimes when we're doing things.
Right. We need to
and I remember together, and we are. When we're making moves like this, we're doing things. It get lonely at times, right? It get lonely when you're doing the work, right? But understanding that, you know, one of my mentors, which is Lou Brown.
Oh yeah, the great
talking
Lou
about the nexus,
Lou Brown,
right?
Yeah.
We always talk about how we're connected in some way, form, or fashion, right? That's right. Some people say it's 6 degrees to separation, but it's 10 degrees to connection when we speak. We're all connected in some way, form, or fashion. So I think we need to start focusing on those type of things.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like in Hartford's such a small place,
especially in Hartford.
And right, it's a small place where we could be like not that far from each other, but very far from each other at times.
Exactly.
And I think that like you said, it's just about picking up the phone. If we just pick up the phone a little bit more, I think it'll also make us like more comfortable with each other. So it's like sometimes, you know, it's like trust and different things, you know, to keep us from
especially with men.
Yeah.
We have trust issues.
Of course, yeah.
And it is nothing directed towards the individual. It's something on your upbringing where man, if you have a society that's dumping on you all your life,
every day. Right. And so, yeah, I think that this is just if you can hear us, hey, pick up a phone call and reach out to us, brother. You got nothing to lose.
You hear what I call courageous conversations, right?
I like that, yeah.
And why I say that is some things that folks don't want to talk about or think if they do say it is the wrong thing to say.
Right.
Nah, just say it.
Just say it. Just get it out.
One of my favorite classes when I was going through the master's program was conflict resolution.
Yes,
So we're not going to always agree.
Right.
And I think that should be something that should be on the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
You have your opinion and I have mine, but collectively respecting one another and knowing that we're still trying to go in the same direction, I think it brings a lot of life to that. So
exactly. So hey, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. So it's January still, and every week I like to do a quick check-in on the progress that we're making on our goals.
absolutely.
So I'm sure you started off the year with a couple of goals, a couple of resolutions,
Wow.
something you're working on. And so I just like to just do a quick check-in.
So what I've been doing, I don't know if you guys know, I'm not an agency, we're an association. However, back in
Did they introduce him?
October, there was an increase in gun violence.
Okay.
And I said, okay, we got to get out in front of these issues. We can't wait and continue to wait and be so reactive in these situations. Let's get out on the forefront.
Right.
So ever since October 16th up until tomorrow, I'll be out here again. Every Wednesday, I'm on Barber Street in Unity Plaza, just going to the people.
Okay.
And I think it's important, and that's one of my biggest goals on just bringing the resources to the people. Because again, right, folks don't know what's available for them. Right. Here it is. You're right here. How long have you been here? And there are resources here that some folks don't even know about.
Yes.
So how do we get those resources to the people to connect them?
So what time are you going to be out there?
I'm up there from 10 to about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Just
all day.
Just I set the tent up and I'm just out there. Come talk. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's see if we can connect you to the resources.
Right.
And you're there. I think it's very important,
So tomorrow I have to go to a funeral.
Okay.
But I'm going to get out there with you on Wednesday.
Just come out there and just hang
Put
out.
out some fun. Yeah, I'll come through.
That's all. That's it.
It could be the spot.
I've been here, man.
It's the spot.
Telling you, man.
It's cold outside right now,
and
too.
I'm still there.
Still out there. Okay.
Again, I don't know, I come from, I ain't always been on this side. So when
you don't mind being outside.
When I was doing it crazy, it was all right for me to be out there. So when it comes to transforming and changing lives, I have not a problem.
Hey, I'm all for that. So this is a quick, if you didn't understand what you just said, is that it's time to hug the block. He was out there, right? Absolutely. And so now when it's time to do something good, it's be out there too.
Not time to hug the block still.
He's still hugging the block. He actually trying to hug it for real, right?
Exactly. And making real change. Yeah. I think it's very important for us to be out there, especially for me. I feel like the blood is on my hands, so I got to be a part of that thing.
I love it. So like my people right now, we actually have a SPPT program, which is supporting pregnant and parenting teens program.
Wow. For
young women and men under the age of 21. And then we have our urban trauma program. Those are two programs I'd like to come up there and promote.
Yeah, urban trauma is real, right? And some folks don't even want to talk about that trauma. And some folks don't even know the ignorance and trauma and mental health. Folks don't even know. So
we want to get out there and promote those two programs with you. So, and I'm trying to think, I wish it wasn't Tuesday, because if it was Monday, I could have somebody out there with you tomorrow. Wow. But next week I'll be out there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So I'm looking. So that's my biggest thing, bringing the resources to the people. I grew up on Martin Street.
Okay.
Right behind Unity Plaza.
Right.
So that's something down there.
It's your community.
That's my community, man. I had an aunt, and my aunt was truly married. And she would say, don't forget about the beautiful nobody. So I think it's very important for me to.
Tell me, what does she mean by that, the beautiful nobody?
It's those individuals who are not as fortunate, right?
Right.
Who don't have the resources, whereas though folks build off of it, but they don't go back and tap into who those individuals are. So I think it's very important.
Yeah.
To be in front. Let them know that's
So we're inviting every Wednesday from 10 to 5, we're inviting any communities that have resources.
Just come out.
Come out to Unity Plaza, set up your table, set up your tent.
In the cold.
And get out here with my brother Corrie Betts and promote the positive things that is going on in our community. Give out the resources in our community. I'll be out there. My people, the Manhood Tree, will be out there next Wednesday. But you're welcome to come any Wednesday with your beer.
I don't care. You ain't even got to sign up. Ain't no just come.
Just come. Show up and be a part of the movie, because Corey's going to be there. He's already committed to it.
I've been there since August 16th. I ain't missed a Wednesday left.
You gonna set your table up?
I haven't missed it yet, man.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Come Wednesday.
Zoe gonna come over there and videotape a little bit too.
I love it.
PSA.
And then it's just really connecting to the resources.
Yeah.
Man. And some brilliant minds. This is a young kid, man. I think he's 10.
Mm-hmm.
The smartest, 15% of one of the smartest kids in the state of Connecticut.
Wow.
And he's there every Wednesday when I'm there, man. I
Okay.
check on him. So that, I got to.
Gotta respect that. He's looking for you now.
He's looking for me. Actually, the kid emailed me and was like, "This your protege." So I got the.
That's what you call himself?
No, he says this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your protege. Absolutely.
Hey, if he's 10 and he uses words like protege, you gotta get there.
Absolutely.
And so the thing is this. What I always say is that sometimes it's only one. You might only impact one, but that 10-year-old might be the difference maker for everything.
Absolutely. You say that. So prior to me being on the side, I'm a director of a substance abuse program.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm also an alumni of the program.
Okay. Well,
And the judge who had a lot, I was court stipulated here. So we were talking. She said the same thing. She said, if you change one life, you've done your job.
yeah.
So
But the thing is you're the one. You already changed.
Exactly.
You're like proof that it can work, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody could ever come to your program and say, well, I don't know.
It works. So again, that's why I do a lot of the work that I do, because unfortunately we live in a society where we have to see it to believe it. Right? Folks don't believe it unless they see it. So here I am. When I graduated with my bachelor's, I cried like a baby, and I told folks I didn't walk for me. I walked for those who have lost hope. Right. Because we live in a hopeless society, so we have to show up and show them that, man, you can transform that.
Anytime. That's it. Always life is on, man.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to change it up, it's out there for you.
Absolutely. But you got to do the work. So I come from a tree of wisdom, right? So our granddad would say anything worth having is worth working for. So a lot of times want it to happen. We live in that microwave world, so they want it right now. Of course, you got to put the work in. You don't just get a master's degree overnight. You gotta do the classes. You gotta write it up. You gotta do the work. Okay. But then you'll reap what's good.
The other thing though is that once you start putting the work, the time goes by very quickly.
Listen, 11 years. This has happened in 11 years. Right. Actually, January 24th will be my anniversary of going into the program, going back to school, directing the program, being a president, and doing all these things. God gets all the glory in my life, though. Moving out of my way and just tapping into that, and it's best.
So, but sometimes when people get to where you are, right, everybody can see you right now.
Exactly.
Take me back 11 years.
Oh, man, time to, man.
Because it's like sometimes I like to be able to say, okay, what was the thing that happened? What was the thing that clicked for you to say,
I'm glad you say that. So the judge, who's my friend now, I'll never forget, I was in the program. I tried to get out of the program. I wrote her a letter, like, give me something a little more traditional. Give me 30 days and I'm out. Right. She says this to me. This is where it changed. She says, Corey, when you ever going to love yourself and be committed in anything?
Wow.
And from that point on, my life has not been the same.
So basically, you started loving yourself.
Oh, man. The real part, I realized that I really wasn't loving myself when she asked the question, because there's so many times we get caught up and we thinking we're loving ourselves. Was I really loving myself with all the self-inflicted wounds I was giving myself? Right. And I realized that I wasn't. And then the things that I thought that I was dedicated and doing the work, and I was hitting brick walls. Right. I was like, hold up, man. My discipline wasn't right. It was the wrong discipline. Right.
It's amazing.
It's
up all the way.
All the way up, man. So my hashtag to my daughters is no limit. Right. Because there's no limit. Yeah. Right? When you start saying sky is the limit, now you done put limit on.
No limit. You can go keep going. So now yes, when you hit, so you get this change of mindset, but then you're still going to hit a barrier. You still hit a wall.
That's all a part of it. That builds resiliency. Gives you the tenacity that you need to continue. It for me, it don't stop. Like habits and all of those things that occurred in my life in the past, that don't stop. It still rises up. It's just what do you do when it comes in? What's your outlet for that? And my outlet is just go harder, man.
Go harder. No limits.
No limits.
Go harder.
Go harder.
The world is yours. You can have it all.
You can have it all.
You could be the director of a program that you weren't a client of.
Absolutely.
You could be the president of the NAACP.
Whatever you want, man.
You could be a community leader when you're a community destroyer.
Exactly.
You can do it all.
Exactly. You can flip it.
You can flip it.
You can flip it. Absolutely.
This is an interesting show tonight. All right, so what about you? Are you writing down some of this quotes?
Down some stuff. Down some jewels.
So what's up? How was the progress on your goals? What was your goals for this year, and how are you doing?
A conversation with Demetrius, so we talked about the credit.
Yes.
I understand those. I feel like I can teach people now.
Okay.
I really understand it now, but
you're doubling down on that.
So I understand.
So by the end of the year, we're gonna have a house. Is that's the goal?
Get a bunch of stuff.
Oh, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. Oh, okay.
A lot of stuff I use my own money for.
Right.
As you saying, when we grow up, there's a lot of things you don't talk about. When it comes home, much is money.
Right.
And how so that's something I had to learn. I got no fault to. We spoke before. No fault to my mom.
Right.
They just didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. So now that I know, it's helping me. I just wish I would known a lot sooner.
Right.
My son. Therefore, but yes, that's coming. So not even that much time. Yeah, to start, but I didn't realize it was that. I comprehended that easy, I guess.
It's all there. You're going to say something. I saw you
right. So to your point, and this is major, and I think this is where that information piece is very important. So right now, there's legislation that's putting financial literacy in our schools now.
Oh, you know who did that? Remember, we found out who did that.
So
who was it?
And shout out to she was on the board. Patrina Dixon. It's
Patrina Dixon, yes.
That's
yeah,
her.
So to understanding the importance of financial literacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about that, those are the gaps that we how do we bring that back to the community and say this is the importance of. Right. My thing is, and it's very important, is talk about economic development and the Black and brown community. We don't talk about that.
Right.
A lot of the money that comes into our communities go right out.
Mm-hmm.
And why, right? So I think, that's major when we talk about financial development.
Right now, there are a number of organizations that over the next couple of years are going to be doing major development, like the YMCA that have got a bunch of money to do their building over. Blue Hill Civic Association, they're about to build a building. This is the kind of time to have a conversation as somebody is doing something. So they got the money to be able to build these buildings, but it's also a time to kind of look at it from a perspective of saying, okay, what is it that how is this done? How do you do something even my agency, right? We're looking at some things to be able to say, okay, how are we going to move forward? How is our future in this nonprofit space, and what do we want to be able to accomplish as it pertains to acquisition of land or our properties and so on and so forth. And so the other thing I was going to say is that, as much as we talk about the way up when you buy all the properties and stuff you need for your family and your lifestyle, I think we need to have another conversation about what do you do as you get older. So how do you plan for retirement? How do you plan for when you're not going to be working? Me and my wife often talk about so I own a house, but it's at what point is this house too much, or do we need to develop a plan for it not to be too much? And I think that this is something that I'm thinking a lot about right now is how do you make that transition so that I don't have to work for the rest of my life just to be able to pay for my house.
So who all right, so now in this space of my life, I know people in this space, you're in this space, but you're about to go to a space where you don't know anybody. Well, like you're saying, so you're in your 60s, and now you think about something else. Who do you?
Well, I just turned 50. I mean, and you're 1 year behind me. Let's be clear. I know you look young, but you're close. But and stop doing that thing. No, the point I'm making is that we're all in the same boat. And it's not one. So lesson number one. This is the first thing I learned. My mother is 70-something. I'm not supposed to say her age, but she's 70-something. So you see my mother every day. She's a beautiful woman, right? And what I learned from my mother is that
you need to keep coming to work every day because work makes you alive. Like, so it's not like I'm not trying not to come to work, but I don't want to have to. Like, she ain't worried about her rent and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to be working for money. I want to be able to come to work and say, and enjoy what you're doing. Yeah, I'm offering my knowledge at this point. And I think it's very important. Yeah. There's this book, and I know y'all done heard it, The Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah. And he talks about how you don't work for your money, you make your money work for you. Exactly. You continue to still do what you do and live. Exactly. So there's a part of it where it's good to do work. Absolutely. But the second part of it is to say, like, okay, there's also a part of it to say, like, I want to be able to maintain my life or like my lifestyle as I get older, and I also want to be able not to be a burden on my kids. So when I get old enough where I'm sick, or if I'm old enough where I die, I want them to be able to benefit in a sense from me leaving this world. Absolutely. So like there is so that the next generation, but that's what it's supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at and I have to say it, right? Yeah. When we look at our other counterparts, like as far as the white folks, right? Yeah. They set their kids up, so if they go, right, they're getting passed on. So that's legacy, and that's what we have to start thinking about as Black folks. Right. What are we doing? And we don't. To your point, like how, and it's the ignorance in it because we weren't taught any better. Right? Right. So how do we make sure we start changing that narrative to teaching our kids on, listen, this is how things are supposed to be. Right. You set it up where if I'm going, you going. Now my grandkids and your grandkids and we never have to start at zero. Right. I don't want to like the Muhammad family should never be at zero. Exactly. We should always be like, hey, at least we're on step number 3. And we are building off of that. So the next generation will be at step number 4. Right. And the next generation number 5. And then that's how we always, they could always say, let's go back to our great grandfather. And this is what he was able to do. And then it kept going on from there. So, all right. So I wanted to talk about brotherhood tonight. We've been doing the Manhood Tree podcast this is our 12th episode. Shout out to the 12th episode, though. That's dope. We just keep it going. 12 episodes. That's 3 months. That's pretty good. And we've been consistent. And so Manhood Tree, we focus on we call it neighborhood, boyhood, young adulthood, brotherhood, fatherhood, and manhood. And so we've kind of dabbled on all the other hoods, and I feel like tonight it'd be good to talk about brotherhood. And so I want to start off just by asking, what does brotherhood mean? For me, is accountability. Okay. Being able to be transparent and open, right? And not feeling as though if I share with you, I have to be alienated, like I'm sharing something, and it just goes somewhere else, and it don't. Right? It's not between you and I. Exactly. So I think brotherhood, man. Wow, that's amazing, man. Yeah, that's amazing, man. I think about individuals that I could pick up and say when I'm having some struggles in this area, and they can say, and they can speak to it. Right. And being really honest with me, whether I'm wrong or right. Like, you wrong in this one, bro. Yeah. And me being able to receive that, right? So brotherhood is just being really open and being able to say, this is where I'm at. And it's all right with saying this is where I'm at. And not feeling as though I have to keep that to myself. Right. And as you know, with mental health, right? Yeah. A lot of times we keep things to ourselves. We don't even want to talk about mental health. Right. Nope. What type of issues that we're dealing with, even in our households, if we're married or if our kids are doing something. Right. And I think brotherhood is being able to share that and being open about it, because if I'm talking to you, you may have experienced that or maybe going through the same thing. Right. And now we're building off of that, and now we're able to communicate and talk about how do we get to the next level to fix these things. So I think that's brotherhood. I love it. So what you want to add to that?
I just think it's treating the person
okay.
angry. Like, for example, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, some things, like, you're just upset. I understand. Right. I understand it, we get over it. It's not something that...
It's not a forever. I'm not going to be mad at you forever.
But you understand each other in that sense. We talking before, I could be happy for you.
Yeah.
I can tell you some things. It's going to come off as if I'm bragging to you. Yeah. Really genuinely happy for me. We can act like that. So want to see each other win.
Yeah.
But it's basically, I think it's treating them. You talk about people. I'm not really a people. I like. It's funny I say that, but I don't really like a lot of people. Right? I like them, but it's like hard to like someone because people usually be people at the end of the day, right? Which is
People be people.
right. So like it's hard to find someone like the same thing with brotherhood. It's hard to find that. You kind of know each other. You kind of just no one ever says anything. Just kind of move that way. People around you notice it. You don't really notice it, but you kind of know like it's there because it just works the way it is. Nothing, not something you come to agreement with what it is.
No.
Right? So it's like so you can, so basically those things I think just happen naturally.
Yeah.
Some people what it does for me because the way I move, either you want to do what I'm doing or you're doing something totally not doing. We'll never see each other. Right? So we really can't be together or be brothers. But I think it's treating him like you want to be treated.
Consistency. I think that's what our relationship is like. Consistent. Like one thing you know about me is I'm gonna be consistent.
Right.
Like I'm gonna show up, and so that's why we're down with each other because we're gonna keep showing up. Well, we're gonna do the Manhood Tree podcast. We're just gonna keep showing up. Right. Now one day we won't show up. It might be 5 years from now.
When there's like, now I'm not sure.
It's never gonna happen. No, but for me, you know what? I have brothers that I've known for 30 years, and I have brothers I've known for 5 years. Absolutely. And it's interesting. It's different types of brothers. There's some dudes I know that when I'm with them, I'm 18 years old. Absolutely. I'm just 18. I talk different. I act different. And it's like I could take off my tie and not have to be Abdul-Rahmaan I, right? All because sometimes that becomes a lot sometimes, right? Exactly. Then there's other brothers where it's like the biggest thing I like about brotherhood is when somebody has my back. Like I know that no matter what goes on, they're gonna show up. And I'm not just talking about like fighting. I'm talking about when we go into a room and we need to debate, they got my back. And if we go somewhere and I don't have enough money, they got my back. I love the idea of being around people where I feel I can be whatever version of myself that I am. I could just they taking it.
You know, that's so rare you would say that because again, like I say, I have not always been on the side of things.
Right.
And I have some true brothers, and what I learned, what a true brother, no matter where you are, however, whether they're living that way or not, they're gonna respect where you are. And I think respect is major in brotherhood.
It's a major thing.
And another piece I was thinking about, no matter what, like real brotherhood, some people you don't have to see months and you see them, it was like nothing. You never missed out on anything.
Years.
Exactly.
Sometimes it could be years.
Exactly.
I one time, so I was in what was that? I was in Virginia. I was all Virginia. And this event, and I was, this guy was telling me about this guy that did some work for him, and the dude shows up. He was somebody I went to high school with. And I ain't seen the dude 30 years.
And the love is still the same, man.
Same,
that's amazing.
Good stuff. And it's like, you know how somebody moves away? We both moved away. Exactly. And you never knew this is before the internet. We didn't have all this internet stuff. Exactly. And so it was just great to see him and feel that bond. And so it's just, it's great to be able to be in a position to have lifelong bonds. But let's talk about how some brothers, they don't know how to do that. And also how brotherhood sometimes can jack you up. Like you love somebody. One of the things I always try to put up when I talk about brotherhood is like when we're talking about brotherhood, I want to be clear that we're talking about love.
Absolutely.
We're talking about 2 men or 3 men or 5 men.
I'm glad you said that because again, when we talk about that, right?
Yeah.
We tend to have walls built when it's time for us to be vulnerable, right? We talk not to cry. We talk to be tough, and I think, and just me, if you my guy, I can shed a tear with you, and you can shed a tear with me, and it's all right. It ain't nothing soft about that. But you understand what I'm saying? But that's real brotherhood, though. And I think sometimes folks have been taught, right? Because there's a lot of learned behavior from our childhood. Oh, you don't supposed to cry. Don't show nobody no. They think is for me, and this is what I've learned over a time, right? I think being able to be emotional is a strength.
It is a strength.
And to show your emotions, that's a strength. And when you don't, that's the weakness. And I think, when individuals aren't able to show and be vulnerable, that's weak, bro.
That's weak.
Hey. I got to call it what it is, man. It's weak, man.
Well, it's like they're covering up, right?
Exactly.
It's like when sometimes people get so hard that they are unable to show who they blocked everything out. Yep. So that means they're not even feeling anymore. Exactly. And so I think that it's great to be able to be in a position where you have those brotherhood bonds. Like I always tell the story about Kevin Booker. Kevin Booker, he was like one of the first. He always tells me I love you. Oh, yeah. And in my family, we're not big on I love you stuff. Exactly. And so when he says it, I was like, yeah, I love you. He says it all the time. I love you too. Love you too, bro. Exactly. But it's like it's a genuine thing for him to say that. Exactly. And it's like actually now there's probably like at least 10 guys that tell me they love me on a consistent basis. Absolutely. And so it's like that's some real manhood-ish.
It's so crazy you say that. And because now we're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
My family, we couldn't hang up the phone unless we told one another that we like, because tomorrow's not promised. It's not promised. You don't never want to have that regret of saying, man, wow, I didn't even tell the brother I love him. Right. So any opportunity I can share and show love, that's what it is.
But like you said, it's all like learned behaviors. Growing up, it's never like I ever thought that my father or my mother didn't love me. It's never, but it wasn't like something we just said. It wasn't like, I was, like I was saying, the fatherhood monologues. I wrote a monologue about how the first time my father told me he loved me, and I was going to college. And so he gave me a hug, and I was like one of the first times he ever hugged me. Wow. That I can remember. I'm sure he hugged me when I was a little baby or something like that. But it was like, when I walked away from him, it caught me off guard. Like I had to stop and think about it. Like, my dad just said he loved me. Wow. And it hit me like, so it's really one of those things where I try to be more like, I say I love you to my son. I say I love you to my daughters. Absolutely. Because I don't want it to be like, it's so rare that it knocks them off their track because they ain't heard it from me, Exactly. And so
my son said, he says he loves me every day. Like we say that before we leave. Like awesome. All the time. So it's very, very, very normal.
Yeah. So normalizing love. Mm-hmm. All right. So the real question that I have for you though, I have two questions. Mm-hmm. What can we do to take our brotherhood bonds to the next level for 2024?
Oh wow! Again, how we started the meditation. Just pick up the phone.
Okay.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Saturdays. You gotta come Saturday with us. We do self-care Saturdays.
Absolutely.
You saw one of the videos. We should show it.
Yeah.
We should sort of did a video. We got our well, you describe what we did.
We did manis and panties.
Okay.
Sometimes.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
Do that, man.
It was dope, man.
So
that's
another part. Yeah. Right? Just really promoting the importance of self-care. Mm-hmm. And that's brotherhood. Because sometimes we don't even tap into self-care.
You're so hard. Like, once again, we're brought up where it's like, oh, you're going to go get a manicure or a pedicure? Come on, man. Yeah. Come on, man. But it's like, sometimes, if you saw some of the feet that was in there, they needed a pedicure. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know. And so it's like, absolutely. We gotta take care of ourselves.
We also talked about most diseases and things like that start from the foot. It goes down.
Absolutely.
Leave it in your feet, so you need to keep your foot care healthy.
So self-care Saturday. We got another one coming up in March. We're gonna do yoga. So
good stuff, man.
My man Kevin Booker, he's a yogi, certified, and so we're gonna bring about 10, 15 men together, do some yoga, eat some fruit and vegetables,
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, man. But what are we gonna do to take it to the next level? What are you gonna do?
I think that we should, like you said, we do more things like this.
Yeah.
The bike ride things. I think more people in your position, maybe the own organization that do have cookouts and all these other things, book bag giveaways. Maybe some of those book bag giveaways should be centered around something young teen. Any one of the hoods could do, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Centered around that, and then maybe they would want to do it because most, if you notice, like I do workshops with the kids.
Yes.
Right, like in Avon, right. Most of the kids want to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
They just like scared to tell you around their friends.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Which is weird. It's like if you get them alone, like, man, like why he wasn't this interested an hour ago? It's like, no. Because his friends might have thought it was weird. So they get the kids out and get them in different little, like like Matt's kids, you know.
Yeah.
Get them in a smaller group and do these things, and then you can tap more into the kid. Because
Right.
we're all when you're young in this environment, they're all standoffish.
Right.
They're all like on guard, not knowing you're a good person or not. So I think that get the organization to get smaller groups,
Yep.
do things just like that.
Smaller groups, get them together.
Absolutely, it's important. You know, I told you I was in D.C. I met a movie producer.
Yeah.
And he produced a documentary on rowing.
Okay.
And what the documentary was about was a book, and the name of the book was Sugarwater. It was about a group of young men from Chicago, the west side of Chicago.
Okay.
Who were from different parts. You know, Chicago was off the hook.
Yeah, yeah.
And they brought rowing to the school.
Uh-huh.
To one of the worst schools in Chicago. And 20 years later, the guy wrote a book and they did a documentary, but it was showing the importance of coming together and working together.
I love it.
As brothers. And they were from different parts of the town, right?
Right.
But in that brotherhood, right? So it could be, we could go rowing this summer. Like, let's go rowing and bringing folks together.
I'm down with that.
Because it brings that togetherness, and you have to work together in order to
be able to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about this? This is kind of off the radar, but it's kind of the same thing like community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rap. O Block, you heard of O Block in Charlotte, Chicago? That's like one of the hardest blocks in
Right. Oh, you saw that?
So they made they converted most of the people and they're all Muslim.
Yeah.
Right? So now they're praying, they're doing different things, so that now the community has like a whole different shift because they have some type of direction.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's it. Just a little direction.
Now that's all they need.
Yeah.
And
a brotherhood. Take the brotherhood and the leadership of the brotherhood. So if the brotherhood's mindset is destruction,
right?
Then
that's what it is.
It's destruction.
Exactly.
And if the brotherhood is peace, then it's peace.
Exactly.
It's simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's how great movements start, though.
Right.
You know, by one person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One person said, I'm gonna be the long nut and I'm just gonna put myself out there.
Right.
And once you put yourself out there, you get the second long nut. Now we all long nuts and we moving things in a different direction, man.
And so for me, I think that what I like to do with Brotherhood this year is I think I heard what you said about picking up the phone. I feel like I would like to let all the brothers that I'm down with know the power of our brotherhood. Like to be able to kind of like double down on the thought that just by us, continuing to be close, continuing to support each other, that it only makes us stronger. It only makes us better. And so like I'm kind of like side by side with you. Some of the brothers, I'm standing on them shoulders, and so I just want to let them know that we're just kind of trying to build with each other.
I don't know why you said that. I thought of that.
Oh, it is.
That's major, though.
Yeah,
At the beginning of this conversation, we talked about the island.
Yes.
And islands, how a lot of times we're thinking we're on the island all by ourselves.
Right.
But there's a scientific fact that all islands are connected at the core. So understanding that we're connected at the core, regardless, no matter what. So, once we come together and start having these courageous conversations, you just never know how connected we really are. So I think just being open and saying, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about some stuff. Man.
This is the other thing I like about Brotherhood. There are some brothers that I have that we're not even that close, but we believe the same thing. It's kind of similar to what you just talked about. And so, like, it's like, if we are like some of my frat brothers, I'm not even that close to them. But I know that they believe a certain thing that I believe, and I'm gonna roll with them on that just based off of our same mindset, our same belief system. All right, so if you wanted to shout out one of your brothers, or multiple brothers right now, who would you like to shout out? Well, let's start with you. So, anybody you want to shout out just real quick?
My boy B Frame, man.
B Frame?
B Frame.
Okay.
That's a good brother, B Frame, man.
To Brandon Frame, man. Okay.
Shout out to Brandon Frame. You want to give him some of that?
Yeah, give him a little
Frame,
Brotherhood.
B Frame, man.
Corey, what about you? Who you want to shout out?
See, I got to pull back because I don't want nobody, But no,
that's why you say it quick. So you say it real quick. Look,
the real part. So I got Skydex, who's my mentor, the state conference president, who has definitely seen. And I think that's another part of brotherhood: seeing something in an individual and enlightening them on some things that they're seeing in them that they may not even see in themselves.
I love it.
That's dope. So Skydex. I mentioned Lou Brown, who's my uncle, who's another mentor. wisdom.
Yeah.
And then my brother, my blood brother, Omar Williams.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I want to go back to what you just said. So, Scott X basically gave you a compliment.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we give out enough compliments. I mean, that a compliment can be powerful. It can be life-changing.
Because again, right, some people see things in you that you may not even see in yourself, right? And a lot of times you run from it, and then when somebody point it out, you're like, man, this is real. Let me embrace that, right?
So he saw your potential before you could see your potential.
Absolutely.
And he told you about it. And did that supercharge your potential? Did it make it move faster?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think it's important for us to, let's celebrate one another and speak on the things that we may not even know we have in ourselves. Let's talk to them and tell them, man, dope, man. Right? Yeah. What you doing is fly, man. Right? Whereas though, because that's what we need. Because so many times we hear what we're not.
Right.
And it keeps us paralyzed.
It's a coach.
I'm challenging everybody that's listening, everybody at the table that between now, every day this week, let's make sure we give somebody that compliment.
Oh, that's dope.
Anybody is listening, we ain't got 2 people listening.
They watch later.
They watch later. Okay. But the 3 of us, we're gonna pick somebody that we've been watching, because like that's one of the things I do. I'm looking at a bunch of people right now.
Yes.
And I may not have said anything to them yet, but in the next 7 days, I'm gonna give them that call.
But then it is a two-way street, right? Because I think for me the best part about life is giving.
Right.
When you get more on giving it, right? So when you tell somebody, that helps you on how you're gonna move.
Right.
So
I tell people like awards and things like that.
Yeah.
You don't want them, but they appreciate it.
They appreciate it.
Like I don't really. But I just appreciate, like, someone does appreciate what you do, whatever it is.
Right.
And I think it's a microcosm like sports, like life, right? So in sports, if you dribbling well, you running well, the coach is going to be like, yo, man, and that gives you want to run faster.
Exactly.
And in life, you need somebody to be like, yo, your cursive is whatever it is. You're doing well.
I gotta shout one more person out.
Okay, who you shout?
My man, homemade, Sonny Frank, man.
Okay.
He sang something in me when I was a kid, so I got to shout that out.
That's what's up. I told my wife today she was the LeBron James of my people.
That's awesome, man.
I started off with Michael Jordan, but I was like, nah, you're not quite a Michael Jordan. I look at it differently because
you get people involved.
No, because I said, you were young when you started, and you put up a lot of points. You're the number 1 player right now.
Wow, records just like LeBron. Clear. Yeah, he's for everything. Exactly. Scandal from everything.
Yeah,
you know how Mike was. Mike was all in
there. Yeah, but it's like I think that I would like to say, Corey, that's why I called you this week. Not just we got a specific thing we want to talk about.
Absolutely.
But I'm always thinking about your movement. Absolutely. I don't know if you know it or not, but I'm like I'll be watching stuff, and so I just see, like I said, you're one of the people in the community I'm watching, and like even when we went out and met, I wanted to. We had how somebody like.
Exactly.
We used to see each other all the time. And so I just wanted to actually make a connection so we could take some time and talk to each other because, I always like to be around the people that are making something happen. And so I just want to let you know that. Yeah.
I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
And so, I appreciate you. I just want to let you know. No, but,
But you see how that feels, though. It even changes the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Tell somebody.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
So okay. Let's move on. Oh, I wanted to give you guys an update on the first 2 sessions of the Manhood Tree group. So we have a group called the Manhood Tree group, and it's a 10-week curriculum that I use to work with men. And so the first session is roots, and the second session is neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And so the way the Manhood Tree group goes, we typically we start off with an introduction. We start off with an opening quote. So every part of the group, we kind of try to have conversations about it. So whatever the opening quote is, we discuss the opening quote. Then I read the introduction, we discuss it. And the whole thing is like, you don't have to agree with my point of view on any of this stuff. This is my point of view. You could come up with your own point of view.
Absolutely.
Then we get into an activity, and then we answer some questions, we do a meditation, we wrap up group. I just wanted to say the first 2 sessions, we're doing a virtual group right now where we have 6 men that are part of that group. And I mean, these first 2 sessions have been very powerful. To be honest, session 2 usually is kind of like a drop, and then session 3 comes back real strong.
Oh, wow.
But last week, session 2, it was like they got it. Like they were hitting on points about the impact of the neighborhood on your life as a man, because what I was explaining to somebody today is that to really hit that group, you have to be able to think kind of like outside yourself, like the impact of your community, your environment on you as a man, on the man that you've become. And so what they were able to do is connect the dots and be able to say, you know what, some of the situations that I had to that I had to experience going through my life had an impact on my manhood. It on my journey towards manhood, it deterred me. It took me off track. And it was specifically because of my community. And so that goes back to us, we were talking about urban trauma before.
Absolutely.
And so like some of the things that are happening, it's like, and what I was explaining to them, and this is like the caveat, is to say, it's out of our control. It's like none of us were able to say, hey, Mom, Dad, I don't want to live in this community.
Exactly.
Because this community has people that are shooting, people that are doing drugs, poverty, all these different negative things, right? Exactly. And so you don't get to say that. You don't get to say, like, I know I live in Hartford, but I'd rather live in West Hartford. Exactly. I might have a better shot.
Exactly.
And so we have to deal with it.
Exactly.
And so when you come out of that situation, so this is all the stuff they were like connecting the dots on. And so it was a very powerful conversation. And I'm very excited about our next session with is Boyhood. And I feel like Boyhood is the session where we start really like peeling back. I mean, they've already started pulling back the layers, but like we're really getting into some stuff next week or this week. And so I'm just very excited about the progress we're making. Yeah.
That's real good stuff.
Yeah. And so for anybody out there that's listening that might want to get into one of the Manhood Tree groups, we'll be doing groups all year long. So you can always contact us on the Manhood Tree page. You can contact us at My People Clinical Services, because we feel like it's important to, once again, have a place where men can kind of just talk about the trauma, talk about the pain, talk about the good times, talk about whatever, and get through it, and finally get through it. Because the thing is that if you haven't talked about it, it's in there.
So, the real part, it's so crazy. I was just in D.C. and me and a guy was in a conversation, and we talked about if you don't know where you come from,
right,
you don't know where you're going. But if you could reflect and say, okay, this was something that I had to deal with in my past. These are some things that now will give you some direction to go on where you're going. So I think that's very important.
Exactly. So with the group, what we do is we kind of go through all the different parts of life. The first 5 sessions: roots, neighborhood, boyhood, teen, young adulthood. That's the first 5 sessions. And it's and the whole point of it is like almost like an analysis of your life.
Exactly.
For you to face it and be able to say, what did I need when I was...
So you know what I say, because I work at a substance abuse program.
Yeah,
and
you should do my curriculum over there.
So what I say is 10% of this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's the substance abuse.
Yeah.
There's another 90.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about those different phases, that's that 90 that we don't even tap into. So it's easier for...
So the reason why you got that 10% is because of everything else I just told you.
Exactly. You ain't even tapping into it.
Nobody talking about that.
And then when you do, you don't know how to navigate through it.
Right.
Now I got to go back to the 10.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so what we're trying to do is...
That's dope.
All of this stuff is connected too, though. So the group, this podcast, the fatherhood analogs, the men's health, it's all together, because what we need to do is we got to make better men. We got to help men just be better men.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what it's all about. Man.
Why is that so important for our community? Better men. Why do we need better men?
Oh man, look at our communities, man. We're responsible, and I have to say this. I'm glad I got the platform to say this. Right? Mm-hmm. We have youth. I'm looking at the fatherhood. Right?
Yep.
You have kids who don't have no sense of direction right now. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the men, let's be real, we're failing our youth.
Right.
So when you hear kids are killing themselves and stealing cars, anybody and this is just Corey's theory.
Right.
If you're 30 and older,
mm-hmm.
and you're not checking these kids, you're just as responsible
mm-hmm.
as those kids, the kids that are doing this
That's
work.
right. That's right.
So that's why I believe, when we talk about manhood and the responsibilities of man, that's our responsibility, man.
Right. Yep.
We can't continue to look outside of ourselves
mm-hmm.
to have somebody to come and fix something that we're responsible for.
That's right.
That's my thing.
To that point, I was coming. I was leaving the house the other day, and I was going on Spruce Street. So I'm driving. There's a car in front of me. So it's a kid in front on the basketball, another kid. The other kid's like throwing the ball at him, like beating him up. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, wait till I get up there. I'm gonna roll the window down. I'm like, yo, chill. I'm gonna explain. Before I could do it, some other guy stopped and said the same thing and told the kid and like kind of broke it up. So in my head, I remember when I was young, they used to always happen.
Right.
And you wouldn't just let somebody just do that. But nowadays, kids just put their phone out, watch them get beat up or something.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Another adult, another man.
But it's our responsibility to saying this isn't right.
Right. And he did that. So I was like, oh man, it was kind of like I didn't expect it. I thought I was gonna have to be the one to stop the kid.
Hey man, you had two men on the same block.
Yeah,
that's stuff.
Important, man. That's very important.
It's very important. Absolutely. And so it's like, as a man, we're gonna throw this out there. You can't be scared.
Oh no!
You can't.
Not at all.
You can't be scared.
Street. I'm on Barber Street every Wednesday. And I think that's another, these are the communities in which we are from.
Right.
So for us to be afraid to engage with our own people, come on, man.
I used to live there. I used to Blanchard. I used to go to Blanchard.
Oh man, exactly.
Right.
So we have to be willing to go back into those places in which we came from and speak truth to that.
I'm in there somewhere.
I
be thinking I'm in there. When I was young, though, I was scared all the time, man. I always had to. It was scary to live there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up, and I know some kids like that. They feel probably more afraid than I was, because I went to school for a while there, but then I bust out.
Right.
But most kids were still trapped in all that. And
right there, I was there. So
and so when you have men in the community that are offering them an alternative to whatever the community's trying to offer, then they got a shot.
And show them that you could do it. So my biggest thing is, and for one, especially with manhood and coming and the trajectory of my life, is just really imparting on our youth that it's all right to dream. Mm-hmm. That's one thing, right?
Never stop dreaming.
Don't never stop dreaming.
That's right.
And it's all right to be your own person. You don't have to be a certain way or act a certain way to be accepted. If folks don't accept you for who you are, just move away from them.
Well, that's one of the biggest lessons that somebody could learn in their life.
Absolutely.
Is like to be yourself. Just to allow yourself to be comfortable
with who you are, because
this is me. And it's gonna be and once they learn that, the whole world opens up to you.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's a big. All right, we're gonna do a quick beard update. We're gonna start with Zoe.
Just keep shaving it.
Come on, man.
You keep shaving it.
No, I didn't shave. I haven't shaved all year. No, I got to shape up.
What was that?
Listen,
what was that?
No, we
got pictures around here.
We
got pictures around here. That was last week. That
wasn't last week. That wasn't last. Listen,
it's full.
We're starting with your beard.
I can't get a beard. All right.
Can't get. Why hasn't your beard grown?
I don't want one.
No, you want a beard. Everybody wants a beard. Don't even try it, man. Yo, get you some of that Yamin on your beard. You know
I heard it itch, man.
No,
I was trying to grow it a little bit. My cheek was itching out.
Grow it out, man. All right, we're gonna leave your beard alone. So Corey, I see you got a nice beard going.
Yeah, man.
I mean, but you keep it around that length. You don't really let it get crazy.
It won't grow no more.
It's not gonna go more than that.
It won't grow no more.
Because I've been saying it's been that length for quite some time.
Don't do nothing. I just let it do it.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
It don't grow no more.
So I shaved my beard at the beginning of the year, just as a protest. Right. Because my barber decided he wanted to. I'm not gonna throw my barber under the bus. I can't do this. No, but I told my barber to trim it up a little bit, and then once he did it, it took away its the way it was going.
Exactly.
And so I decided, I'll cut it off. And then when I cut it off, I had forgotten what I looked like without a beard. The beard had become a part of me.
Absolutely. Don't mess with my beard.
Don't mess with the. So now I'm on the process. This is week number 3 of my beard coming back. It's getting thick already. Yeah. And so by that March 16th event, I'll be like that again.
He's gonna cut it again.
I'm not gonna cut it.
You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna blame. He's gonna kind of blame his barber.
No, I'm not gonna blame him
because he didn't blame him. He didn't really blame him.
Shout out to Anthony Jaws Barbershop. He does a wonderful job. My beard, don't touch my beard. Just shape it up like I told you. Just line it up and let everybody see the silver fox come back. That's what's up. All right. Men's health update. So we have the men's health challenge that we're doing. 156 days for 2023. We're trying to work out at least 156 days. What day are you on, Zoe?
11.
Oh, wow.
Doubled up.
11?
11.
No, you can't double up.
I can't go twice?
No, you're on. So what number is your real number?
10.
Okay.
I went twice the other day.
So 10 out. So today's only the 16th. So 10.
So I'm at 6 days.
10 out of 156.
I go 5 days. See,
I'm on 8 of 156. The leader on the leaderboard right now. Get the clapping ready. The leaderboard right now. 16 out of 16. Demetrius Chambly. Give it up to Demetrius.
This guy, man.
If you would like to join the challenge, Corey.
He cries too.
Demetrius. Yeah. If you would like to join the challenge, or anybody watching, if you'd like to join the challenge, we have our worksheet, the 156-day challenge. And it basically averages out to about 3 days a week. Obviously, some people are getting a little carried away. Exactly. Demetrius works out every day. Zoe works
5
out
days, but I'm
almost every day. But he's competitive, so he's waiting for Demetrius to drop the ball. We'll see what happens. Wow. But the biggest thing is it's not really a competition. We just want everybody to be healthy. And we recognize that working out is a very important thing. And we're just talking about 30 minutes a day. Maybe a little run.
I might do that, man. I need a challenge in my life.
We post on the Manhood Tree every week.
That's awesome.
Everybody posts stuff. So, feel free to join us.
I'll get reminded every time Demetrius does something. My watch go off. I'm like, I'm going back.
He's always posting. He's number one. All right. Last week, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, he went into the hospital because he got a prostate diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And it was a big to-do because he didn't communicate that with the president. Yeah. And so, he's third in the chain of command. So I think it's the president, vice president, and then him. And the big debate was that he was responsible for communicating that information. Now, the reason I brought it up is not because of his chain of command thing. The reason I brought it up is because prostate cancer is one of the number one killers of black men.
Yep.
And so, I know, Corey, you had some situations with the prostate, and we had talked about it. And so I thought I would bring somebody on that has had some experience with prostate cancer, or the process, right?
Absolutely.
And I wanted to be able, for the listeners, first of all, I wanted to start off about how simple it is to get a prostate exam, what the test is, and then talk about a little bit about your experience, because we need to make sure that we're getting these tests. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
So, I like to come with some facts around this stuff. So as black men, we find it hard to talk about or worried about the painful experience or the fear of judgment in having our prostate checked, right?
Right.
So a little over a year now, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. No issue, wasn't nothing going on.
Right.
I was just doing my yearly check.
Right.
Doing a PSA, did my blood work.
So let's just start off right there. So you just went to the doctor, got some blood work.
Yep.
That was called the PSA test.
Yep.
And from that test, they were able to tell you something was going on.
Something was going on.
Okay.
What was going on, they didn't know, right? But something's going on. Your numbers ain't right. So, okay. Call me back. Went and seen a urologist. Mm-hmm. Got tests done. Mm-hmm. Got prostate cancer. No issues, though.
Right.
No issues. So it's a silence killer if you don't address it, right? You can have it. Mm-hmm. And understanding, too, they say, I think 70% of all men will have it.
Right. They're going to have some issues. Yeah.
They're going to have some issues. So I go get biops, tests. I'm checking it. I'm going to see. I went and seen I went and seen the urologist, the radiation doctor, and a cancer doctor, even before I made any decisions on what. And all of them told me, this is the thing, just remove it. Just get rid of it.
Yep.
like this is avoidable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we talk about quality of life, you
Right.
still got kids, you got, right?
Yeah.
And my thought is, and I got to be honest,
Yeah.
I'm young. I'm like, man, I'm still, you know, I'm still active.
Right.
So those are fears that we have, not understanding technology has
going away. So can we get a little bit more specific?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
When we talk about the fears. Could you just lay it out for the people listening about a couple of the fears? Because these are the main reasons why people don't like to mess with the prostate. This is where they get
exactly.
scared.
So again, right, and we said this. There's no shame in going to get a check. Right?
No, there's no shame.
No shame.
And 70% of you are gonna have an issue with your prostate anyway.
So go get a check. You see what you said?
Right.
It's one of the highest killers of black men.
That's right.
That could be avoidable though.
Yes.
Like you could avoid this.
Right.
It don't have to be a death
if
sentence.
you get a check.
If you get a check, right? And follow up and making sure whatever it is that they have to do, let them do it and get it done with.
Yes.
Right? So we have a fear of not being sexually active no more.
That's
right. We
Yeah.
got a fear of a doctor. You know, you hear these tests that some doctors...
The old school tests.
Yes.
When they put the finger in your butt.
They don't have to do that no more.
Just get the blood work.
Just get the blood work. Right. And you know, and get past those fears because it could save your life, really, to be honest.
Right.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
I
give him a round of applause for doing all the things he's supposed to do.
And it wasn't anything but just getting a checkup. And again, let's talk about the importance of going to the doctor. As black men, we don't like going to the doctors for all the right reasons when you think about what has happened to us in the past. And
Tuskegee, all of those different things. Yes, exactly. I got it. Yep.
So, but still, I think in order for us to get past it, we have to get in front of it, right? We have to pass.
Well, it's a new day.
It's a new day.
So it's like, yes, there's history. But it's like if we keep holding our history and that prevents us from going to the doctor and staying aware of our health, then that means that we die earlier or sooner than we're supposed to. That means that our family doesn't have us there as a support. That means that somebody is having to step up before they would have had to.
Exactly.
And so we really need the men, especially the men that are over 40 years old.
Over 40 years old. Now, my dad had prostate.
Okay.
So it's definitely hereditary. So you want to make sure if your family, if my uncle if it's in your family, just go get checked.
Go get tests.
And
the thing is that when we have our next men's health event on February 24th, I believe, we'll have PSA test there.
Absolutely.
So you can come to that
just
event.
Come and get your blood work.
And get your blood work done.
Don't even think about nobody, doing anything other than just...
That's all we're going to do. February 24th, right here in Hartford, we're going to have a men's health event, and you can come get your PSA test on that day. And so...
I got to get this number, though. They say more than 1 million men are diagnosed a year.
A year.
A year.
This year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do the math.
Yeah.
Just go and get checked.
And so, take it deeper.
There is a shame, and there is, folks don't want to talk about it. Health issues,
right.
It could be somewhat, right?
Right.
Just go get checked. You ain't got to.
But if you said 1 million men are going to be diagnosed, we just said 70% of those are going to be African American men.
Exactly.
So it's us.
It's us.
And so we might as well get checked and get it taken care of.
Exactly.
So you can start living your life.
Exactly.
Keep living your life.
Exactly.
This is very important.
Very important.
Hey.
Prostate cancer.
Did you get your PSA?
Yeah, my last physical, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm about to get my yearly physical.
Mine is on my birthday every year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to
come back from my trip.
I'm calling Dr. Leone, and I'm gonna get my all of my physicals and all that stuff.
Another good thing too is like to have the same doctor. Like my doctor, my son, same doctor I have. He's had my son since he's been little, so he's 17 and he sees my son. You know what I mean? So they have this relationship too. So then he's more comfortable he's comfortable with him because he has this whole doctor thing. Because
I like that.
Again, how we grew up. Everybody got insurance. You don't got a regular doctor. You don't even want to go to the doctor. Now you got to go talk to something that's private.
Right.
So the whole thing is like the manhood thing. Like I did something manhood. We'll get to the manhood thing, but you got to set it up so they can go see people. Yeah. They have a relationship with the person.
I know.
Right. So
I like the fact your doctor is your son's doctor. I wish I would have thought of that because I love my primary doctor, Dr. Leone. Yeah. Anytime I have an issue with any of my other doctors, he's the first person I call, and he'll push him around a little bit. And so it's good to have a relationship.
Right.
So, but then I was thinking just then, my doctor's a little old, so I don't want my son to have to start off with him and then he retires.
I don't. My doctor's probably he's probably in his 60s now.
Oh, he's gonna have to switch.
He's good.
All right. So, anything else you want to say about prostate, or even just going to the doctor in general?
Just go to the doctor, man.
Yeah.
Health is wealth, man.
Health is wealth.
As a black community, we need to get in front of this. You know, heart attacks and hypertension is one of the leading deaths in black communities. Go and get checked, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'd like to give a moment of silence for Don Crocker. Don Crocker, he passed away last week, and he was very active in the fatherhood community, like working with fathers in our community.
That's right.
And so let's just take a quick moment for Don. So rest in peace, Don.
Yeah. What were we just talking about?
Prostate.
Prostate. I was going to tell you. I'm trying to remember that. It's got real deep in thought. What were we talking about?
Going to the doctors,
yes.
And being, staying in front of your health and health being wealth. I think is very important for the black.
You know what?
You have the doctor. Make sure you have the same doctor.
Here, I'm hoping jog your memory.
I wonder why you had that.
I'm gonna throw you this ball. Wherever your thumb lands on the ball, you have to answer the question.
Let's go. My thumb? Which thumb?
That one right there.
Youth light? I don't know. That's youth light.
No, the one closest to it. Right
this
there.
one.
Yeah.
When I am teased by others, from how I grew up, I tease back.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
So pass it to Corey.
Oh.
Wow. When a friend is hurting, give them a hug, man.
Okay, let me get one.
Oh, sorry about that.
Butterfingers. I do best in school when I have somebody's paper to cheat off. No. Nah, I do best in school when I'm engaged with the information.
Absolutely.
So I'll bring this. This is our little.
You didn't make that?
No, I didn't make it. I wish it
dream
was
a dream ball.
I wish I would have thought of that. All right, we're in the wrap up now. Zoe, you want to talk to the people about the Man Up Minute we're going to do next month?
Oh yeah, yes. All right, I think everyone should be aware of the Facebook network that I have. On Facebook.
Any video
entertainment. We put myself and the host across the table from me. Put on mini shows, Closet Chef, Eat and Talk, Walk and Talk Mini. And a couple of years ago, I believe the 2019 before COVID, for the whole month of February we did a Fatherhood Minute. What was it?
No, it was called
Fatherhood Matters, something like that. Dad, what is it?
No, it was called Black
Fathers.
Father. I can't remember.
Right. Black Fathers Matter.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. So each day, what I did was take someone in the community, and they would come in and talk about fatherhood or manhood, or however long it was. So we're doing this year during February. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get 28 men to come talk about
the Man Up Minute
for a minute.
Yes.
And, for a minute, talk about something to do with manhood. Come to the office. We're going to set up some times, maybe on a Saturday or something. A couple of Saturdays, try to get it in and out. 3 weeks.
Starting this Saturday. So I'm gonna start calling people this week.
Not this Saturday. I'll be in Florida.
Starting next Saturday,
yes. We're
gonna call people to come in between the hours of 10 and 2. We're gonna try to bang out all the interviews, and then we'll post them on the month of February.
On all the networks, the Manhood Tree, any video, YouTube's and all that. But you come.
Yeah.
Corey's coming. He's the first one signed up. So
we'll get him in there.
It'll probably be February 1st.
Right.
I really appreciate you guys allowing me this platform to come talk with y'all. This is real. This is needed in the communities.
Hey, well, we agree with you 100%. This is what it's all about. We need to talk, right? We need to get somewhere where we can kind of put some stuff out there. All right, 2 more things before we go. So every week we try to find out what kind of manhood-ish you did this week, and this is by your own standard. This is not by our standard. So it's like, we'll let Zoe start us off. What manhood-ish did you do this week in the last 7 days?
I did it today because I just remembered.
Oh.
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I tell people I don't have a job really, so
Yeah.
my health insurance, I pay for my health insurance and the family. So
Nice.
today I forgot was the last day,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to get on the phone and
get it all
to get the health insurance popping, so everybody be okay. And again, so my son continue his relationship with the doctor,
right?
Because if you already know, I don't care what kind of relationship they got. Once
you don't pay, you don't got no doctor.
Ain't a relationship no more.
That's
so
right.
Make sure that is all good. So going back to the point before, if you can try to get a relationship with the doctors and all that, so it'll be easier for you. When my son maybe when he's 30, you have the same doctor, and it's okay for him to talk about anything to the doctor, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a doctor you don't trust, we already go back to how we grew up. No one's going to say nothing to the person. They don't even say anything to their parents. But the thing I did today was just make sure my family is going to be healthy.
Yes.
And they can get all those tests and all those things.
I love it.
Because last year I didn't. I forgot.
Uh-huh.
And then we had some scares, so I had to go buy some crazy stuff. I had to pay like 3 times
much more, right?
A month for like just in case.
Yeah.
So
do it the right way.
Right.
Don't miss open enrollment.
Right. Today's the last day.
All right.
Sober.
Corey, what did you do in the last 7 days? What kind of manhood-ish did you do?
Wow. I'm thinking about it, right? We're talking about manhood, right? I have daughters. I have an older son, but I have daughters.
Right.
My youngest daughter is in D.C. at Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in D.C.
Uh-huh.
So I made it my business to make sure, otherwise there on business, that I stopped everything I was doing and broke bread with her and made sure that she
sounds like what you did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you went to your daughter.
I had to go to Atlanta because my daughter graduated from college. She got her master's degree. But I couldn't go on the day, so I had to go on the weekend. I just went down there just for her. Exactly. And so just to show her,
Exactly. So we jump in Ubers and just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just letting her know I'm around.
I love it. That's high-level manhood.
I would have a question for him.
Yeah, what's that?
Because how you said your relationship with your daughter now, because she's in college.
My older daughter, my middle daughter.
Master's, all the same thing. Now, has yours changed with your daughter? Right? Remember you were saying how now you can't be the way you were back then. You have to change.
I'm trying to be better,
right,
to fit what she needs, as opposed to just saying, "Yo, this is me."
Right.
Instead so I go to church as well. So now we're talking. So my 24-year-old, she works in the space where I am. So in church, I was able to grab her and bring her up for prayer. Right. Nice. She didn't do it on her own, but something pushed me to say, bring her up for prayer, right?
Right, yeah.
Because sometimes they need to be,
put out there.
Exactly, right? Yeah. It's there, but I was able to bring her to prayer, so.
I love it. So I have a history of, like, telling jokes in my family that nobody thinks are funny except for me. Mm-hmm. And so, but if you want to have a relationship with your kids as they get older, they aren't going to be around you if you always don't make them, if they don't think you're,
I'm a cool dad. I'm a real cool dad.
You're a cool dad? Yeah. See, so, I think I'm cool too, but they don't.
Dad, but they think I'm cool. The thing is, they know when it's time to do business, it's time to do business.
Right.
So we got. I think that's dope.
Yeah. What are the ages of your children?
So I have my oldest son. He's a state trooper in North Carolina.
Nice.
34. I have a daughter who's 31, who's an assistant teacher, and then my two youngest, 24 and 20.
Nice. You're in a good position.
Yeah.
And they good, and they all,
So this is my manhood-ish for the week. My son I feel like he's just making some progress.
See, he got a job.
He got a job.
I'm scared to go get some food from over here now.
Why? He's washing. He's in the back. But notice, like, when I think it's like, you know how as a father, you always want your kids to do stuff the right way.
Absolutely.
And as I'm seeing my son lately, he's been doing stuff the right way. So you tell him to do something one time, and when you come back, you don't have to go back behind him and do it again.
So to your point earlier when you said, okay, 60, right?
Yeah.
Thing, right? And what I learned, I lost my mom 3 years ago. But what I've learned with parents is our biggest concern is making sure that you're able to maintain whether I'm here or not.
Exactly.
And I think that's just parenting, period.
That's
manhood, parenting. Listen, make sure if I'm not here that you're able to.
You can do it. Exactly. And so he's my youngest child. And so seeing him to start being able to do those things the right way.
Absolutely.
I really enjoy that. And to me, it's manhood-ish because he's the one, like my daughters, Daughters are gonna, hopefully, maybe they're gonna get married and gonna go with some other man. But he's like the man. Like I have to make him into actually a man. Exactly. And so I'm just hopefully seeing him make that transition. And that's a powerful thing. Absolutely. All right, a little brotherly advice. Corey, we'll start off with you. We always end the show off with a little brotherly advice. Any advice you want to give out to the brothers that are listening that help them get through this week to power them up and keep them moving forward?
Wow. So my biggest thing for me is just get out of your own way, right? I like it. Because so many times we get in our own way and we limit ourselves from doing things because we're in our heads, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever your mind could conceive, we could achieve, man. That's right. Just my thing, right? Like, get out of your head. Mm-hmm. If it's something you want to do, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And I think when you do that, doors start to open, right? Right. It's just move. Just move. Yeah. If this is the week that you've been contemplating and wondering what should I do or how should I do it, get that out. Just do it.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Okay. So what you got?
Just on what we talking about today, I say locate and find your brotherhood by elimination or addition. Okay. Just find it. Find whoever those people are that we're talking about. As you can do all those things that I said, you two guys said. Right. Find those people, locate it. Yep. And tap into those people.
Yeah. Get with the people. You doubling back?
No. I just want to make sure I reinforce something that Abdul said. Yeah. Call a brother up. Yep. And just tell him, son, if you see something good and you ain't never shared with us, share with him, man.
This is the week we all just gonna shout. Yeah, we got 7 days. Every day for 7. We giving somebody a shout out.
Yeah, and it's something good that you can see in everybody. So whatever it is that you see in them, just give them that call and say, man, I like what you're doing, man, or what you're doing is good, man.
That's what it's all. All right, here's my brotherly advice. Get up and try again. I just want to tell everybody out there that's listening that maybe you failed, maybe you made a mistake, maybe you things aren't going the way you thought they would go. What I want to say is like clean the slate and just try again, because the second time might be better. Hey, believe it or not, even if you fail this second time, get up and just try again, because what is meant for you is gonna be, and sometimes it just don't come easy. It just don't come like quick, and so. Don't be afraid to dust yourself off and give it another go. Just give it another go. And you will be amazed what is going to happen for you in your life when you just dust yourself off and try again. Believe that this is the time, this second time, this third time, this fifth time that you're giving something to try is going to be the one that turns out in your favor. Absolutely. There's favor waiting for you. There's opportunity waiting for you. But you got to get up. You got to get up. You can't stay down. You can't use any excuses. I don't want to hear about any of the excuses. Starting today, you got to dust yourself off and just go forward with your life. There's something out there for you. Absolutely. And the only way you're going to get there is to move.
Move.
So
move. That's what's up.
All right, people. This has been another Manhood Tree podcast. We want to thank our guest, Corrie Betts, tonight for coming in. I want to shout out Alonzo Beckett over here. Ow! Yeah. And last but not least, my name is Abdul-Rahmaan I, the Manhood Tree podcast. Never stop dreaming. Peace. See you next week, Tuesday, 6 o'clock.